Interesting.
Band name.
Wow.
I had not thought of that.
Wow.
See, sometimes
Anyway,
he's so
let's get
smart.
sad.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
So, I didn't need an episode number for this one because I've just titled it The End.
Damn.
Sag. Alright. Who's ready to weep? Weep. Although I think I made everyone weep already last week when I did the random thing.
Oh, I got fucked up.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what happened, but I got real fucked up.
I think you were holding on to some feelings. Because you got hit like
I'm
a
in
Mack
bad
truck.
way. Yeah.
Message.
Oh man. Hello, internet.
Hello.
Whoa.
For the last time.
Well,
Shut the fuck up. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
For the last time for 2 weeks.
Yes. Well, maybe. I actually want to talk to you about that. Do you want to start a new campaign on your birthday? I don't know how like hectic your birthday is gonna be.
I don't have a life, so that's fine.
Holy shit. Jesus.
Well,
Suppose that's an answer.
I suppose the answer is the game is her present.
Is her
Yeah, I do
present?
have about, I can't count, 8 friends, I'll say, be generous. And most of them are in here. So.
I feel that.
I don't have a life. That does. Oh my god.
well.
Elsie is muted right now, but yeah, all my friends are here. At least the ones I've spoken to in the past 3 years.
Okay, wait. So there's 8 of us in the call, but I counted myself as my own friend.
As you should.
Sometimes you gotta pump those numbers up, baby. Sometimes you gotta pump those numbers up.
You can be not a friend to yourself real easy. So the universe must be true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I am going to start off the epilogue. And then you guys can go, whoever wishes, and tell us what you do. And because we aren't doing a battle royale, we're not crunched for time. If there's at any point you guys have something that you wanted to roleplay out in your epilogue, please feel free to, but you don't have to. Because we're not doing a battle royale because I just don't want to. So
I get it.
I
That's fair.
thank you.
yeah. We did the one and I'm like, that was fun. Never again.
Yeah. No, I did it because it was you guys.
No.
I was very relieved when you said no battle royale on Saturday. I was like, oh, thank God.
It was a lot of fun, but I just it loses its luster after like the first hour.
It doesn't make as much sense here either.
Yeah.
No. Because we're actually ending in a very high note.
Yeah.
Yeah, this were kind of interrupted because of circumstances, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and the fun for me was bullying Alcia.
True. That's happened to me in most things in life. Yeah.
Very true, very true. Anyways. So let's change the music a bit.
Oh, you
What
heard
this
me,
bitch
buddy.
just say?
Anyways.
What?
So, almost 7 years ago, 5 total strangers were called upon by the Minister of Expansion and Exploration, Harong Ashno, to explore and map out the unknown regions. During this time, that group, later named Dawnstar, would see many members come and go. The great Jedi Guardian known as Maruk Dwav was the first to fall while trying to protect the group from Sith Lord and former Master of Viz, Darth Sanizek. Standing defiantly and heroically while countless basilisk war droids dotted the atmosphere, Cadu tried his best to save and protect his people from annihilation at the hands of the Mandalorians. He died a hero, never to be forgotten by his crew or the surviving Cathar people. While they saw many losses, Oscar, Rin, and Satay, they also made many more allies. During a random stop while getting their ship repaired and attempting to pull themselves together, after defeating Vuguad, they encountered a peculiar teenage girl named Jin. Immediately enamored by her, she would go on to be the most accomplished combatant in the crew and would be vital in their survival. While death was frequent, some did leave on their own. Thep finally retired to live out the rest of his days with his ex-Jedi husband on Zeltros, with their adopted daughter Ferali. While never again to step foot on a ship, Thep was always available to the Dawnstar, no matter the day or time, for advice, or if they needed a hand at trying to fix something. He never mentioned to Corey why he left, but things were never the same when they would spend time together. Thep lived a happy and full retirement, and a day before his 80th birthday, he passed peacefully in his sleep. Viz was also another member who left of her own will, but her story isn't mine to tell. Zane continued learning and training under Jin for many years, while also maintaining a relationship with Jariel. He took many jobs for sector security, rooting out many pirates and bandits, and any remnants of the Neo-Crusader Mandalorians. He also went anywhere Jin went, if she allowed, always wanting to be close to who he now knew was his blood relative, his sister. Jariel, while coming to love Jin and falling in love with Zane, decided to instead follow a different path. She chose to follow Arya and help her as much as she can. In the waning months of the Mandalorian Wars, the Republic felt as if they could finally breathe easy, knowing a massive threat had been destroyed. The deep breath of relief didn't last very long, however, for in just 1 year's time, the saviors of the Republic, Revan and Malak, would return as conquerors. Arya, what do you do after everything is said and done?
Yes, so immediately after our last adventure, before any sort of ceremonies or awards or anything, Arya would be sitting at her desk in the ship on our way back. She collects her thoughts into a scroll using ancient practices of calligraphic writing. She and Jariel are expected. Congratulations are in order to them, Corey Kala, Asher, Jin, Ket and RK. Where compliments of acting on fear and the desolation of people would be exchanged. Where the jury, judges, and executioners, the Jedi, would stand proud of their accomplishments. Arya could feel the dark side of the Force. Something was at unease. She woke in night terrors of a war even more grand than this. One that she knew if she stayed, she would never escape. Arya stands up and looks at Jariel, telling her to gather her stuff, adorned in gowns and formal wear with expectations, and set with goodbyes unsaid. The two left, leaving their spot during the ceremonies empty and unaccounted for. Those that she traveled with, you all, picked up a ripple in the Force, a voice, whether Arya's or not, resonate through your mind. Darkness, if is half of everything, yet you are still scared of it. You stand in the light and loathe half of yourself, and those of us that teeter on the edge of both have nothing. We are turned away by the gatekeepers of both light and darkness. I am more. We are more. We are the witches that are blessed under the winged goddess and the fanged god. We are the witches that will not fall. Two, yet will embrace the dark. We are the witches of the night, and we will thrive. None of you would see Arya or Jariel again. In your journeys, you'd hear stories of a Master Jedi or Sith Lord that did some extraordinary feat, and you'd pause to think, perhaps it was neither. Instead, maybe it was Arya and her witches. Arya would meet up with Satay after she fled from her own actions, and the two would travel along with Jariel for about a decade before she found Dathomir and its nexus of power, a gateway to the dark side of the Force that wasn't tainted with Sith absolutes. And there she would create the Witches of the Dathomir and its clan for more, and be its clan mother for more decades to come. In that time, with Jariel's help, she would create the Book of Law, and she would shroud Dathomir from the ways of the Jedi and Sith. She would shroud herself from those who fought alongside her. She would shroud her new family from corruption of ignorance. And she would leave this behind. Daughters of Arya, learn these words and learn them well, for they are the foundations. They will increase your strength and they will keep you safe from harm. Those who suffer emotion will never enjoy peace. Those who choose ignorance will never know their own greatness. Those who yield to passion will fail to dominate. Those who fear death will never achieve pure power. Never forget your magic, and it must always be used wisely. And never completely concede to evil, lest you be consumed by it. And that's it.
I want fairy
God
Phoenix
damn!
God first.
Nice.
Why is he first? Now we're all feeling underwhelmed here.
Oh,
Like
fuck.
now we're feeling under. No, it's not underwhelmed that I'm trying to say.
Not
What's the
me
word?
really regretting my decision to not make a Night Sister for campaign 2 because I was really thinking it.
Man, Night Sisters are so cool.
Right?
I'm underskilled now. I'm gonna just crawl in a hole.
Girl,
No, it's
bullshit.
fine. We all got our own styles, right?
Yeah,
Also,
know.
I think Phoenix wrote
Phoenix
that out
just writes
before
the-
last session, and he forgot to take the Satay part out. So
Yes. Sorry. If I meant Satay, I totally meant Ada.
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
Girl bosses.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Satay's eating planets.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, he's eating plant.
Oh, she's eating dirt, alright.
and that actually reminds me because I forgot to say it because I thought Phoenix was gonna mention it, but he didn't. Ada blows Fika's head off at some point.
Incredible.
Yes.
Excellent. Fuck that
Hopefully
bitch.
somebody can get that
And then
slug.
flees Narshada as Wanos puts a death warrant on her for like other reasons, but yeah, so she spends the rest of her days with Arya and Jariel.
Love her.
Um,
So glad I wrote that character.
yeah.
I'm so glad you did as well.
That was beautiful though, Phoenix. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
You can have a DM's inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Does
we
it-
can use
does
for
it-
next game,
Campaign
right?
to DM
Yes.
inspiration?
For next
Like,
game,
does it
yes.
work for next game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's
fantastic.
go.
Yeah, I wouldn't give you one for this game because this is it.
I was-
This is it,
The
baby.
game's dead. It's in its casket.
That would be very funny though.
What kind of
if
shoes
I
you got
did
on
do
in
that.
this casket?
That would
Did
be
it
hilarious.
sell?
What kind of shoes you got on?
What shoes he got on in his casket?
That's why your daddy's dead as hell. All right. Asher, and I guess
Okay,
Viz
so
by extension.
no, can I do Viz after RK? Because it kind of has to, or before RK. So
Oh,
go
yeah.
Asher, Lane, Corey, then Viz, then RK.
Well, why don't you
Well,
do both
no.
of them since you're
Oh,
up.
you're doing on
I'm just going by
alphabetical
Discord.
order?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's well, okay, because Rick
Just
wanted
above.
me to go right before his, so maybe call
Right
him
before
later.
his.
Oh,
Okay, well then after you
Yep.
do Viz, I'll just skip Corey and do Arcade.
Yeah,
It's fine.
skip. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't write beautiful words like Phoenix because I'm not capable of that. But I do have my story. No, it's true. My story bullet points. So Asher had a life of ups and downs. He was born in riches and nobility, son of a senator, who was killed as he was trying to root out corruption. And so the people that he was after came and decided to murder his entire family. Asher survived by being smart and, plain dead, and ran without a family, without his parents, without the comfort of the life that he used to have until he was like 9 years old. And he ended up in level 1313 in Coruscant, where he was born and where he was from. And as an orphan there, with a name that was known, but that in 1313 no one knew. Although in Coruscant, some people would know the Meyer family, Senator Leave Meyer, for his good deeds. And on level 1313, no one knew anything. And he was raised by a thief who taught him the skills that he needed to survive, and later on got the attention of the SIS. But as a teenager, he would have, put on a mask and become the Blue Wraith, and the vigilante dream of a 14, 15-year-old with skills in acrobatics and a natural talent for those things. And he would weed out corruption and, tie bad guys so the people in charge would take care of them. And that caught the attention of SIS agent Silas Balkar, who tested him. And that's how he got into the SIS once he passed the test. He went through a lot of missions in his life until Kareth called him to keep an eye and make sure Captain. Yes, I did Nightwind with no prior knowledge at all. Yeah. Captain Korikala, who was going through a bit of a bad period.
Admiral.
She was captain back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He joined the crew, but he never thought that he would find what he did find. And he saw a family, dysfunctional, but a family nonetheless. And he saw in Corey someone that he knew, and the depth of his heart would do well. And that his story, he never thought he would have his name in history, but he did. He doesn't care about the glory, though. When they defeated Mandalore, right after the ceremony, he would have come to Ket, a friend that he made in the year that he waited until the Dawn Star would be reunited again. He was, curious about the match of the Jedi. He had known about the Force users. He wasn't one. He had absolutely no affinity to that, but he was curious about this new sect. So after defeating Mandalore, he would have asked Ket if he could spend a few months with the Matukai to just watch them. And he did. Eventually, kind of like a vacation of sorts. And after that, he would, say his goodbyes to his friend Ket, friend that he made, on top of all the other friends that he made. And as he returns, he's promoted. He's now Master Agent Asher Meyer. And started working directly with Director Silas Balkar, doing, agent things. But then when he has some off time, he would, get a holocom to Ket and say, hey, do you want to play Vigilante? and call him to level 1313, put on his mask, become that black blue wraith again, and just kick some asses. But eventually, as the Jedi Civil War comes over, and he realizes that he would have inside knowledge of the one person responsible for it, Revan, he would have become the main informant on the SIS for the Republic. And that would be part of his job. And that would make vacations really hard to have. But eventually, as the years go by, he never married. Funnily enough, he never saw the point. But as he gets to around 40, 45 years old, he will go back to level 1313 to an orphanage and adopt a child. Give the child his name. And just like he was taught by the master thief, he will teach that kid everything he knows.
You are literally Batman.
So he will, I don't even like Batman. He will pass on his legacy and make sure that at least some of his knowledge and some of his experience will move on. And that's Asher's epilogue. And never marries. But that kid will have his name.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
He's Batman. Listen. I'm a Superman fan. Okay.
Yo, same.
So
I might have had
You did it.
I might have had I like Green Arrow. So maybe there was some
Kind of
inspiration
similar,
there.
yeah. Kind of similar.
Yeah.
Green Arrow is
But-
just Batman, but with a bow.
With
so-
a bow and with a sense of humor.
Bowman.
Yes.
Yeah. Bowman. Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Oh man.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. You put for a character that wasn't in the game for very long. That was actually a pretty good backstory. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I don't like just being shallow. I have to do, even if it's not gonna be, because it helps me understand my character. So
It's the funniest thing because we all know you're a super Marvel fan, so the fact that you accidentally made Nightwing is fucking
I
hilarious.
made Nightwing. It's like I don't
Uh.
even know much about the story because I'm not a Batman fan. I am a Superman fan. So
All you had to
I
do was
don't
be
know.
from the circus.
I don't
And
know
it
a lot,
would've
but
been-
he is acrobatic. That's the thing, because his
Yeah,
subclass is just like jumping and parkouring and acrobating and jumping without falling. So, kind of circus-like,
Incredible.
which is hilarious. Yep, that's his life, I guess. And no one knows why he didn't marry. Maybe because he was actually asexual.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Jumping
very
without falling
charming.
is called flying. Shut the
It's called
fuck
flying.
Shut the fuck up.
It's kind of not though.
Go to jail.
Is that without
Yeah.
without taking falling damage? You're dumbass. I
Fucking
hate you.
Hazel, you just did the Kaya voice. Go to jail.
Go to jail.
Excellent. Well,
Smartass.
I guess since you had do, go ahead and do Viz's as well.
Right. So the one thing that Viz realizes soon as she goes back to Serena's 5 and to the Through Sith is that she was the one that needed some time to understand herself. And that the distance from the party was not something that she did like happily, but it was needed. She spends the first few months meditating and trying to reattune herself to herself. She spent a lifetime in anger. There was nothing else that fueled her but anger. And then things happened, and she became so attuned to the light that this created like a gap. It's like trying to teach a child how to run without them having crawled before. So she spent the first few months with the true Sith, just getting attuned to her new self. And in that period, I think she would have contacted RK very little. But they were force bonded. They knew they were okay. After that, the first thing she does is get a new hand. And she gets one
Finally,
finally.
she got a hand.
She got a hand.
Yeah.
It took to the epilogue, but she got it.
She got it, baby.
But she realized that her whole body was her weapon in those, few weeks, days, months that she didn't have one, and that she wasn't defined by that. She was resourceful and could, do things and improvise. But having a new hand, helpful. Once that happened, she knew, and she would know, I think, by connecting to RK as well, that everyone was busy. And she would try her best to, through the force, give encouragement, even though she felt like no one else would feel it. She gets word that the party was successful, and I think she immediately contacts RK through their bond to congratulate everyone. And after that, once that small bit of peace is over, she would call RK and ask him if he wants to help her track her brother and her father. Now, I don't know what through their bond. Fuck off. I don't know what her brother and father would be doing. She would have spent the time that the group was doing the whole Mandalore thing and all that arc to try and track them down. And once she pinpoints them, what she's going to be trying to do is she's going to try to redeem her brother and bring him back to her.
Arky would definitely join her at that point. After the Mandalore.
And I don't know if she would have been successful, Tim. That would be up to you. Her father, she knows there's no redeeming there. She would have been tempted to kill him, and she would be with the point of her lightsaber to his brain. But she will let him live.
Yeah, I mean, it's your epilogue. You do what you want.
Yeah.
I
So if she manages, well, I'm going to say, because I want her to have a happy ending, she does manage to redeem her brother through the sheer force of her light connection. It takes him a while, but they are back together like they were, the two of them, now with RK. She would have asked the true Sith for help, bring him to the fold, and be thankful that she didn't have to kill him like she had to kill all her other siblings before him. After that, her life, she doesn't want to be part of wars again. Her life has been a war. She wants quiet and she wants peace. She will help RK, and he will say more about that in his epilogue to find out about Sabora. Whatever he needs to do, she will be there with him. At that point, probably with Akram, her brother, he would be there too, helping the three of them going around and trying to figure out. She would have been. I think when RK tells her that Zanazak was his father, she doesn't seem so surprised, as it makes sense in her head. That the Force would do that kind of thing with her. But a couple of things before we go to RK's epilogue, because then she is a part of that as well. She will, every year, in Serenazona 5, which will become her new home, she will hold a small memorial for Site. And she would have tried to reach out towards the force to her enemy turned friend turned sister, because she felt her death. I think she felt something when that bomb exploded. But I feel part of Viz feels she's not dead, but she cannot reach for her. She will feel Satay is her biggest failure, and she will try to learn from that. She will feel guilty about it. She will feel guilty about what happened and about the fact that she allowed Satay to leave her side and she wasn't there for her. She will hold a memorial for her. And one of the people that will be there is the hunky guy that Satay had a crush on when she was in Arizona 5. He will be there.
I forgot about that guy.
Everyone will. Yeah, I didn't. Everyone will be there for her. After a few years, I think she would stop reaching out for the Force, through the Force for Sitae, because she gets nothing in return. She will do the same for Rin. And that is perhaps one of her biggest guilt, because she wasn't there to save her brother, her friend. And that failure, ooh, I'm getting emotional, will haunt her for the rest of her life. But she will use that as a fuel to try and continue to do good for the galaxy. In those years, though, wherever the remaining 2 people of the Dawn Star are, which means Cora and Jin, she would try to meet up with them if they allow. Because one thing she remembers, and she will never forget, was that during the 5 years that she and Satay were in Arizona 5, the abandonment that Kari felt. She will never forget that, and she, despite having left to regroup herself, she never forgot what the Dawnstar did for her. So even if it's just a holocall, or if she just drops wherever Corey is, now Admiral, she will try to keep contact if they allow. Just so that Corey remembers that she never forgot. That she didn't contact her because she couldn't, not because she didn't want to. So in a way or another, she will try to keep contact. And whatever they are doing, whatever side they take, she will not judge them. She will be their friend for what they are, not what they are doing. She will be proud of Jin. And she will eventually apologize for her forceful ways, because now she understands that each person has their own redemption path. Or maybe they don't. And it's their choice. She'll definitely try to make amends with Jin. And if possible, also, send them email, keep contact, holocall. She doesn't want to abandon her Dawnstar friends. But eventually she wants to settle down. She had a very, very hard life. And she wants a family because she didn't have one growing up. Her father would find suitable females, impregnate them, steal their babies, kill them. The only family she had was the Dawnstar. And then she met RK. And the 2 of them will still be together. She will want children. And they will have 4 babies.
Babies.
Oh, yeah.
3 girls and 1 boy. Yeah, they're all like bluish gray. 2 of them have red eyes. 2 of them have gray eyes, like mom. Siva is the oldest. It's a girl, named after the mother she never truly met. But through the years with the Drizzt, she would have found out who her mom was. The second girl, she named it Cora Jin. But just Jin. But after Corey and Jin, her Dawnstar companions, that's the second girl. Sete is the third girl. And after the enemy turned friend, turned sister. And the youngest is a boy named Ren.
Ah, I
After
hate
the
you.
brother-like figure that taught her how to be a little bit more lighthearted, and
I
who
hate
she
you so
thinks she
much.
failed for not being there when he died. They are all force sensitive, all four of them, because Viz is very strong on the force, and RK is strong on the force. They are all force sensitive,
Personal Force Army, yeah.
Hell yeah.
and
Conquer the galaxy. Woo.
Because it is only through bloodlines.
and
Fuck you.
they will teach them, the ways of the force, and make sure that they survive, and try to make the galaxy a better place if they want to. Funny enough, Corey Jin is really smart and really strong on the force. Siva is
Yeah?
wise. Sete is very playful. And Rin loves pistols.
Of course it does.
And I feel like at some point they would go and introduce the kids to the Dawnstar people.
And they steal a Dawn Star and
Yes.
go on adventures.
They go on adventures.
Those little brats.
Fucking God, I hate those kids.
and that's it. And then they would meet their aunts and uncles from the Dawnstar, and they are a bunch of very unruly, adorable kids. But they grow up to be very good individuals, because Viz does not want what happened to her to happen again ever to anyone. And that's it. And then eventually she will die together with RK at some point.
Well, become one with the Force together.
Yes.
That's what I
Extra
like.
gay.
Yeah.
Extra
Come on,
gay. You want to live on?
yes.
You want to have eternity together, baby?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You guys get to bone in the afterlife.
Hell
And
yeah.
I will say I did
Go
not
sex.
even tell Ivan that I would name the kids after you guys.
Somebody call Patrick Swayze.
That's funny.
Bullshit, dog.
No, we had to name the kid Rin to turn the knife back at Ivan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Fuck you, Ivan.
Oh.
Just because
Actually, Rick said, I don't care, but I don't want to know. You name them the way you want. I was like, okay, I have an idea.
Nice.
Hilarious.
And I actually rolled for the number of kids and how many girls or boys were there.
Yeah.
So-
okay.
That's funny.
all
I do want to touch on it because you
Yeah.
mentioned it, and I didn't do it last week, and I didn't do it earlier when I read my thing. Viz and RK specifically, before Malachor 5 was destroyed, felt a massive ripple in the Force, and what sounded like a woman screaming before there was no noise. But about 6 years after Malachor 5 was destroyed, you feel a presence in the Force too, in fact. As Sete finally, somehow, returns to the Force, and so does Ren.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Because Sete is
That is
just killed by
passed on.
Mitra Surik. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Darth Nihilus Sete dies, and she goes into the purgatory plane between the afterlife, she just sees Rin next to the sun.
Well, in
Uh,
my headcanon, Ren had paid his debt. And
I thought
when
it was like waiting for her.
No.
Sort of like
no,
Okay.
Ren was doing shit, but I'm not gonna tell you what he was doing.
You fucker.
Oh,
This is the end, bitch. You gotta say it.
you
No.
gotta tell us.
I'm not going to.
He just says, no, I love it.
Hate it.
The
Rin had
balls of
paid
this
his
man.
debt to the sun, and as he was being released into the Force by the sun, Darth Nihilus Sate felt that. And that's why she finally let the exile kill her.
Incredible.
Hey, at least
love
there's some happy ending, I think, in the end.
For her spirit, maybe.
For her spirit.
Yeah,
Ah!
But,
like maybe.
okay, please, if you would.
Yes. Okay. Um. So, RK at one point, in time after the aftermath of the Mandalorian War, when Viz calls for him, he'll up and leave without saying anything, really, as he does. But anyone who would enter the Dawn Star after this would see a new name added to the plaque. The plaque of the names of the dead Dawnstar crew. The name is MNRK Ezek. But right around the same time, everyone who at one point or another had been crewing the ship, so Korikala, Asher, Arya, Jin, Ket, Zane, Jariel, Thep, and so on, they would receive a message from RK that reads, "One with the shadow, unseen but not removed, dead but not forgotten. A secret shared is a trust formed. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me." Which is his way of saying that, for all intents and purposes, he no longer exists, but if they ever need him, he'll be there. Some of you might never see RK again, who knows? But maybe you'll pay them a visit. Either way, sometimes over the next few decades, occasionally, each of you, where possible, would feel a familiar presence at the most opportune of times, even you non-Forces. A presence that for some reason would make you think of RK. But this presence follows strange happenings. Perhaps you were unhurt by a fall that should have crippled you. Or perhaps you were undamaged by a bullet that should have killed you. Perhaps information you had searched for a long time suddenly found its way into your hands. Or whatever else you tried to accomplish for some reason just went a lot easier than you expected. Jin, however, since you were bonded with RK, he would appear at one point, and he would ask you if you would like him to live up to his promise of creating a similar bond between you and Zane.
Oh shit. Damn.
With Jin.
Fuck yeah. That sounds great.
So he would attempt to do that, thinking he's strong enough in the Force at this point to do it. And in my mind, he succeeds.
He has forever to try, so yeah, he succeeds for sure.
Yeah. He'll keep the bond between Jin and RK as well. Could prove handy in the future, he thinks. Either way, after that, he disappears again. Excuse me. Then, of course, he would return to Viz and spend as much time with her as possible, helping her with the true Sith, helping her with her family, which is already talked about. But of course, sometimes he would travel on his own again. But because of the bond they have, they can always visit each other anyway. It became a very powerful relationship. The thoughts RK had experienced in that elevator leading up to the fight with Mandalore would come rushing back to him when Revan returned, but this time waging war with the Republic. And he had known already back then that war would return before long. but he didn't expect it would be Revan and Malak that led it. So he was almost about to join the fight. But somewhere along the way, he didn't really feel like it anymore. So he let the war play out on its own, and he returned to Vis. Trusting in the Force, that's what he ended up doing. And as Vis told you guys during the epilogue, they raised a bunch of children over the next few years. 4 children. And RK opted to just be a family man, basically, for the rest of his life. He ended up imparting his knowledge and the knowledge he obtained from Yagora Nek to his eldest daughter, Ziva. Was it? Ziva.
Siva, yeah.
But in the end, he just stayed with Viz and his family and tried to protect them during whatever it was Nihilus was doing. And finally, it is, like we said, my belief that Arcus and Viz's bodies just simply vanished when they died and they become one with the Force, but still remain who they were. That's it.
Yeah.
Damn. They do be fucking in Jedi heaven, though.
Bro,
Oh my
for
god.
real.
Yep.
Jail.
With the
Jail.
amount of light force points, because she was almost at the max, she probably would have just been one with the Force. Or even become a Force ghost, I don't know.
That
But
is
yeah.
Be a haunted.
Who you haunt?
who you haunt.
I'm
Who-
haunting! I'm haunting!
Oh
Yeah.
my
Who we gonna haunt today?
That was excellent. Rick, you can have a DM's inspiration for that.
Oh, thank you.
That message. That was excellent.
Do I get one
That was
too?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You didn't write anything. Actually, no. Since you rolled and named your children, you can have one for that. For making me
you.
making me cry about Satay Child.
Thank you. And- Yeah, they take they take after their namesakes.
Ooh,
So I feel like Corey Jen would
I feel
be a
so
very
bad for you guys with the Satay
the
Child.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
No, she takes on the good parts of Satay, not the
Ah,
bad
I
parts.
see. I see.
Damn,
I
a
see.
child.
Well.
Ren and Satay are your worst kids. I will just tell you.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
100%.
They are.
They are the troublemakers.
Corrigan will be a pilot and a sentinel at the same time.
'Cause fuck it,
Yeah,
why
boy.
not?
I actually think in my head, I'm thinking, after the Jedi Purge, not many Jedi left. I'm thinking maybe they sent a couple of the children to
They
build a
all
better
died.
Jedi Order
Yeah.
Oh.
with Mitra.
Be careful with that.
Be
We don't want to
very
send them to the Jedi Order because the first Jedi Purge is around the corner. So
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I meant.
okay, good.
Yeah, I don't think.
After that,
Yeah,
Okay.
after that.
Excellent.
to rebuild
I
it
don't-
after.
I don't want my godchildren dying.
Bitch, you already dead.
You first.
I'm
You're
still
already
in
dead.
conflict.
He would
I'm
be
not even here.
if you were alive.
Excellent. Well, that brings us to Jen.
No, Corey Kalla.
Corey.
Oh,
We
sorry,
skipped
Corey.
Corey Kalla.
I did skip Corey. Corey, I'm so sorry. Go, Corey.
Okay. Where our session closed last, docking at the Republic station.
Yes,
on
I
the-
ended the game in a very Godfather-esque way.
Yeah, it was very
I
cool.
loved it.
We
It
loved
was
it.
super
It was
cool.
it was amazing. Corey probably takes about 4 hours rest. And then she loads up the Dawnstar and goes to Nar Shaddaa and recovers Rin's body.
Which is
Make
being
sure-
being kept safe
In
What?
the shed.
by Trezza. No, they went and picked
What?
it up.
Yeah, just left me in
Oh,
the
I thought
shed.
he was still in the shed. Fuck.
No, I would have been like the air is so dry. I know I'd be a mummy by then. You know.
True.
Mummy Rin. Um.
Wait, you guys would have already I just realized you guys would have already recovered his body because it's been a year since he died.
Was it a year between that?
What? I thought he was.
Yes, it was. It was a year.
Yeah,
Because Ket was with us.
Guys, we did a
Resolution
year
Grace.
time skip. Remember?
we did a year
Yeah.
time
No,
skip.
I don't,
Fuck!
actually.
I thought that was on like the last fucking day. I don't know why. I don't know why that was still like merged in my head.
Because
Well,
we
fuck.
didn't actually take a lot of time in between. It was very, very recently.
Ah,
Yeah.
fuck.
The whole
Alright.
last arc took place in a single day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I kept thinking of. Like, oh, it's only been a day since then.
Holy shit.
Okay, so let me just scratch that part off my
Sorry. When you told me about that last night, I should have corrected you, but I was like half asleep, so.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, she takes a full night's rest that night.
Nice.
No, in the aftermath of that battle, Corey makes sure that everyone is rested, everyone is safe, and then probably takes a little bit of shore leave to go on that trip to Score 2 with Willow to have a little R&R as the Mandalorian Wars kind of dwindle down. She thinks she feels confident enough that with the Mandalore and his second in command taken care of, that they can continue on without her for a small time.
Yeah, you were granted it by Admiral Saul Kareth, who lets you know that due to the insistence of Revan and Malik, they are going to be pushing into the fringes of unknown space to wipe out the rest of the Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm. So she takes her shore leave, spends probably about a month, I think, on Score 2 with Willow, and they get to know each other. And eventually she gets a wild idea to hold his hand.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah.
And then she returns to her career. The career of Captain Cora Califaronet is a little eccentric, but storied.
The Admiral?
Admiral Cora Califaronet, thank you. Never got used to that. It comes so quick. I think she went to Commodore to Admiral,
To Admiral
in
and
like 2
like
days.
a
One day.
Yeah.
That was the 1 year time skip. Shut up.
Okay, wait.
Was she-
I'm sorry we're bad at time, okay?
We're
It's
so
our
bad at
fault.
time. Okay, yeah. In IRL time a week. She in her off-duty time, she makes sure that an orphanage is started and funded, following the wishes of Rin and, by extension, Merrick, the Dwell Memorial Institute.
Oh my fucking god.
Yes, what if we held hands?
We just held hands.
And she continues that friendship, and probably eventually a more committed relationship blossoms there, because they're just so fucking cute. Her military career, following the disappearance of her mentor, she bonds with someone we'd met before, Mr. Karth Onassi.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
And when their mentor returns, she assists him in locating the Starforge and helps lead the assault. After that is destroyed, she continues as Admiral for another 15 years, doing whatever needs to be done, and then tries to retire. Makes it about 3 months. Gets bored and then is recruited by the Ministry of Expansion and Exploration, and eventually takes over for Huang Ashno. She spends most of her squib lifespan, which is quite a bit shorter than a lot of yours, always in touch as much as you can with the rest of the Dawn Star. I guess taking care of the kids, and I'm sure giving them many, many joy rides to the chagrin of their parents. And maintaining the Dawn Star as a home for any of you whenever it's needed. The memorial plaque is kept up to date with Rin's name, with everyone's name. And as people disappear and lose contact, eventually they are added as well. The Dawn Star is probably willed to Ferali, and to Zane jointly.
My dog.
And eventually, Corey leads a mission, an exploration mission, past the unknown regions, and is never heard from again.
Oh my god.
Yo, that's fucked up.
I
You
just
did the New
say,
Hope ending.
Corey Jin and Sitei want the fastest bikes. Just saying.
This is
And they have them. The experimental, not yet on the market.
yeah.
Wait,
Fastest bike.
does she disappear with the Dawn Star?
No.
Okay.
She leads an actual exploratory mission
Yeah.
on a separate ship.
Yeah, the Dawn Stars are
Uh,
Ferali's.
Yeah, but she
Mhm.
makes sure that just in case something were to happen, that is in
Yeah.
well.
Get our force sensitive kids, Ferali,
Every
Zane.
single person on that ship is force sensitive.
I'm gonna
Next
cry.
All your
campaign.
kids
Yeah.
with
Next
Ferali.
movie.
Oh my god. That's the sequel.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
sequel right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn Star, the next generation.
Oh my god. Shut
Incredible.
your mouth.
I like it.
I will say, the Dawn Star, the beacon of this crew, this group of heroes, passes through many generations of owners, from Zane and Ferali to Biz and Arcade's children to maybe their children's children. For many, many generations until eventually, when they were gifted that ship, it was a prototype model. It is now so outdated that it gets sent and becomes a part of a massive museum piece on Coruscant, where it sits for a really, really long time until they feel like changing out the exhibits. And then no one is quite sure what happens to it.
Dawn Star gets Epilogue. I'm crying.
Cry.
4,000 years, guys.
4,000 years, yeah. I was like, hey, it would be cool if we saw like descendants of ourselves, and then
No.
and then I was like, it's
No.
4,000 years. I
not
was like,
possible.
oh fuck.
Yeah. All right.
Good boys.
Now, Jen.
All right. I actually wrote something, you guys. Clap
She
for
did.
me.
Oh my god, you also very good writer. I will feel so underperforming.
I had bullet points.
Oh,
You did
Corey,
well, Leah.
Corey, you can have a deep inspiration.
It was
Oh,
all
thank
from the
you.
top of my head. I only had bullet points.
All right. For most of Jin's life, Fighting in any capacity has been the only constant. Whether it be with her lightsaber, vicious and merciless, neck deep in something as grand as the trenches of a galactic war, or something far more granular, more personal, fighting back the demons in her own head, fighting to control her more volatile abilities. The act of the struggle has been consistent through it all. Yet, for the first time in nearly all her life, she finds herself at an impasse. She promised someone she cares for that she would take a break. Stop fighting. Transition is hard at first. It's been a while since she'd taken a break. Even in her 5 years of respite, she'd kept busy enough, odd jobs here and there. But the first stop on the vacation train is Zeltros. She'd take Zane, and by extension, Dariel if she's still around at this point. There to stay for as long as they like, to get away from the action and just... She gravitates towards art, I think. It's been her outlet ever since she was young, and she showed extreme promise in it for someone with little to no ability to hone that skill. So she puts her head down and focuses almost incessantly on a project she's passionate about, channels that energy that longs to fight into creating. She adds to her series, The Crew of the Dawnstar, all the members that had been picked up since her last exhibition. Then she draws all those she considers friends, and this list is long and vast, containing anyone from Mr. Caretaker himself, Jules from Henko, to Preza Mithric. Even John the Mandalorian gets his own, albeit small, portrait done in her signature style. She paints the exploits of the Dawnstar, from missions to rescue huts, to the destruction of Lucian Dre's testing facility, even a very abstract depiction of the demise of Mandalore the Ultimate. She also includes a sort of uncharacteristically sappy memorial piece for those of the crew that have been lost along the way, very prominently featuring Rin and Satay. And finally, after ages of slaving over her work, I think she hosts a gallery, in which she invites all of her friends to come together again and witness their exploits displayed back before. And I do mean everyone. Everyone whose phone number she has that she has ever met on this entire journey gets a text like, "Hey, I'm hosting an art gallery. I actually drew you. I think you're kind of cool. It'd be great if you showed up."
Corey shows up and weeps.
I want every last one of them to show up. Oh man. What started as a way to channel her energy morphs into a sort of release of all the stress and grief that came along with their journey, as well as a permanent reminder of the joy these people have managed to bring her life. After this gallery, I'd like to say she becomes the galaxy's pseudo Banksy and makes political statement art pieces that sell for absurd amounts of money, but maybe that's what.
Oh my god.
I think
Derivative.
this is the status quo for a while. She finds contentment and fulfillment in her work and her family she'd managed to cobble together along her journey. I think that for a while this is enough. More than enough. What she's been searching for ever since she was a child. However, whether or not that lasts depend mostly on if someone calls for her to come to their aid. Jin is a very particular person with very particular morals. She has a short list of people who she places her utmost respect and trust in. Anything, no matter how potentially morally dubious it is, to please. Admiral Corey Califaranet of the Dawnstar is one of them, but there are others, and depending on if these people ask her to join in a fight, say, the war, this idyllic painter's lifestyle she's got going for herself could potentially be disrupted. However, that withstanding, I think she could live the rest of her days healing, learning how to be content in contentment, and soothing the part of her that craves a fight. Peace was earned, after all.
Excellent.
How does she feel like babysitting?
Oof.
Jin would be the absolute worst babysitter. I think you should send the kids over all the fucking time.
Yes. Yes. I still have the keys to Mark Speeder on my inventory.
Viz,
Maybe they find them
Viz would call up Jim and be like, "Hey, you want to watch the kids for the weekend?" Jim would be like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then Zane would end up watching the kids for the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zane would end up watching the kids while Jin thinks up all the wild things that she can get them to do before she sends them home to Viz. You know when you send the kids to grandma's house and it's like, okay, eat all this sugar and then go home.
And they come back, they come back covered in powdered sugar, even though you don't you tell them not to eat that. And then that's what the grandma does. Yeah.
No.
Ring and Satay were hanging from the ceiling fans. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Jin and Corey for Chaos Aunties.
Yep.
Rin and Satay would be hanging from the.
Yeah, they're fucking. Those kids would knock down several walls. They don't give a shit.
They just destroyed the kitchen.
Yeah.
It was a forced thing they did.
My brand new oven.
I imagine, I don't know why in my head canon I imagined you in Arcade just settling down on the true Sith planet. But after you know, a couple of years and your kids are like a little bit older, like toddler age, the headmaster just comes up to you, he's like, bro, you gotta go. You guys
You
can't
gotta
stay
go.
here
You
anymore.
Bro,
Like,
can't
you don't have to
handle
go
them.
home, but you can't
you
stay
can't
here.
Like, listen, the least was 2 people. Now you got a family. You gotta go. You gotta go.
That's funny.
Oh,
And those kids are worth like 10 each. So
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
the
No,
kids are just so
Siva
fucking
is calm.
rambunctious.
Siva's calm. The problem are the other 3.
Especially Rin, right?
oldest daughter
yeah.
Rin
syndrome.
and Tete, yeah.
He's the worst.
I feel like okay, so if Jin's doing like a Banksy thing,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe if Corey catches wind, like she's like, okay, if you promise you're not gonna blow anything up, here's how you get past these codes.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, incredible.
And
No
then
explosions just for you.
Get
Maybe
past
bails
what?
her out with a twist.
Codes?
Yeah, just like here's how to get past this piece of security.
I
Yes,
feel
yes,
like
here, make a
I
real
feel like
political statement art
Asher
piece.
I feel like Asher like at some point gets that and he goes like and accidentally deletes the
Yeah.
the entries on Jin from
Yeah.
the SIS databanks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Going ghost, baby.
Zane just
We
be
love-
like, I can just talk to the technology and make it not lock you out, right?
She's got this very complicated
Infiltrate.
plan, and we're all just like, want some help with it?
And
Yeah.
they go like, "What this piece was it? I don't know what you're talking about."
Oh,
we
what are you
love,
on about?
we love, we love.
What do you think it
nepotism.
means?
Whatever that means.
Anyways,
Thank you.
that was
What about
excellent,
Kit?
Hazel. Have a DM's inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank ya. All right. Last but certainly not least, Cat.
Man.
Very close to the end of, like, right when that door closes and we get the credits. About a couple hours after that, and we've all rested and all that. I managed to catch Corey and just tell her that, basically that Ket will stick around with the Dawnstar as long as you need him, but he believes in Revan's mission right now.
Oh,
So Ket
Ket
becomes a full-on Revan Knight,
oh
Yes.
no!
Yes. Yes.
but there's a but here.
Okay.
The Revan and Malik do their thing in the unknown regions, trying to find what they were trying to find, which was a Star Forge, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And eventually, Ket would see the writing on the wall. He would notice that Malik wants to go deeper into the Starforge, get as much power as he possibly can, and Revan is the one that's basically trying to hold him back at all times. Yes, and
Mhm.
eventually that falling out happens. But before that,
Or Revan takes his fucking jaw off.
yeah,
Yeah.
before that, Kev would have left, not really wanting to be a part of, like, the possible destruction of the galaxy. But
You know, the genocide, etc.
the genocide of the galaxy and all that. So he left, hoping that Revan's better nature would win out in the end. He would go back to Carvos 2, the Matakai homeworld, achieve the rank of master, then move around the galaxy for a bit. He would hear about the destruction of Terrace one day, how the planet got turned to glass.
Well, Tilos first and then Terrace.
Yes. And how Malik was the one who supposedly ordered that, and which was surprising that Malik is back, because the last time he saw him, he didn't have a jaw and he was pretty fucked. So, eventually, after hearing that rumor, he would hop around some planets until he ends up on a little desert dirt ball known as Tatooine. And there, he would somehow end up on a new ship with a new crew. A crew of people known as Karfonasi, Basilashan,
Are you fucking serious right now?
Yuhani,
Do we both bring in Carthonesi, you son of a bitch?
Pandorus Ordo,
I hate you.
HK-47, Jolie Bindo, and so on and so on. Not realizing that the amnesiac leading this crew is Revan himself. Because as far as Ket knew him, he never saw his face. And this Revan doesn't even go by the same name. And the goal is to find the Star Forge and destroy it finally. And Ket would do it as a way to repay his debt for having left that initial meeting with the Star Forge. He would reconnect with Ordo, who he met. But as far as the other people, they're all new to him. And when the revelation finally happens, that this amnesiac leading this crew is Revan himself, and we finally destroy the Star Forge, and Revan takes his own life in the process. Ket would return home to Carvis 2, keeping in touch with the Ebon Hawk and the Dawn Star, making sure that everybody is fine, and if they ever need any help, they know where to call him. He's the current master of the Madukai Order, and hopefully that's a powerful ally for people who need it. But he would still think of Revan and all that happened, and just wonder if anything could have been different. And then he would live off of his life in peace in Carvos 2, keeping in contact, but being distant. And then he would transition into the Force, as everyone does in time.
I can't stand you.
Okay, you get a message. Hey, Squid Boy, how do you feel like babysitting?
Oh my fucking.
You mean
God.
you don't like me doing that? Because I liked me doing that. That was fun.
You're so
Yeah.
It's so self-indulgent. How dare you?
Yes.
Am I? Who gives a fuck?
Up to this point, we have avoided that, and I
don't
would just
care.
said, "Fuck it."
No,
Fuck you.
fuck it.
Fuck
I
you.
am becoming a
I'm living my
KOTOR
dream.
companion.
I'm living my dream.
I will be a KOTOR 2 companion.
I'm
fuck
young enough
you.
to do it. Fuck you guys.
That's Kotor 1.
Yes, Kotor 1.
Yeah, it's KOTOR
That's
1.
KOTOR 1. I don't know. He said KOTOR 2 to me. I don't know what he meant by KOTOR 2.
At least Corey was supporting Carthonasi and the Ebon Hawk. You have to be on it.
I'm on
You
it.
nerd.
He's
I
on
want
it.
to be on
I'm
it
in
too.
it.
What the fuck? This is no fair.
I like
Get me
how
on that shit.
I like the
Call me
idea
up.
that I'm only in contact with Karth, and I have no idea that you're on the ship.
I
Yeah.
mean, if Karf is still the way he is, then he wouldn't. They would never tell us his contacts.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a very good spy.
I was gonna write.
He also has trust issues because he looked up to Saul Kareth, and
Yeah.
And
and
then
when
betrayed
Saul
us.
returned, he destroyed Telos, and Karth was like, "Well, that's fucked."
Yeah, I think that's why Corey and he would have bonded. Really hurt by Karth too. Yep.
Yeah.
Is your mentor? Yep. Yep.
Karth looks at Corey's just daddy issues. Daddy issues.
That issues.
Yeah. I think
Oh, man.
after that, every year,
But
10
the
years
reason
or
but Tim,
Cat would
the-
receive a message saying, hey, how do you feel like babysitting?
I would, but I'm busy. Tim, the only reason I came up with this is the fact that Revan never showed me his face.
His face, yeah. You
I
don't
was like,
know who he
Okay,
is.
and he's an amnesiac in 1. He probably won't go by Vidar.
No.
He probably doesn't remember that name. So he'd
No.
be a completely new person. So yeah, I was like, yes, we're doing this. For sure.
That's incredible. I love it.
Mhm.
It's beautiful, delicious. You already got DM's inspiration, so
I
fuck
already
you.
got it. Yeah.
Fuck you.
I was gonna write RK into the Jedi Civil War and maybe some Darth Nihilus stuff, but then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be daddy.
Well,
No,
look,
I mean, I
could
thought
have put
about
myself.
looking.
I could have put myself in both games, but I said, nah,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'm
I
gonna.
thought
I'm
of
gonna
looking
restrain
at
myself.
I thought of
Yeah.
looking at historical things for Viz to be involved in, but she's just tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna have
doesn't
Jin
care.
go full on like Revan, let's party, dog. Then I realized that I think she just needs.
Yeah. And like
Mm.
Asher was gonna be involved because he was there. He knows Revan. He would have been the best informant for the SAS against Revan. But Viz was just like, oh no, I'm fucking tired. I just wanna, be
I just
happy
want
for a
babies
chance.
and cupcakes.
She wants to be happy.
Babies
She's
and
never been happy.
Babies and cupcakes.
Yeah, baking cupcakes for everyone.
Yeah, you weren't here for that, Phoenix. That was a real big like character thing for Viz when Marv
Yep.
taught her how to bake.
Bake cupcakes.
That was like the biggest bonding moment, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
'cause
Yep. It's when
We-
she
it's been-
started to turn. Yeah.
Yeah, because it had been a bit tense for a while, and then we just had
Yeah.
a cupcake food fight.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
That's
then-
when she started
Aw.
turning into the light side.
I think that was that was
Yeah.
Jin's
It's
first
okay.
session.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
She came
You got-
into this group and we immediately had a food fight.
You guys
Yeah,
remember?
Revan showed off
You
our
guys
lightsabers.
do you remember the awkward family vacation car ride with Mark on
God.
Zeltro?
I think
Oh
about
my
it every
God.
fucking day.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
god.
God.
that was the best.
You
So-
all left and you got high on the pheromones, and we
you
all just
did
quiet.
That was
He's
so
just-
fucking
He's just
funny.
clutching the steering wheel, scolding all
So
of you.
angry.
That was
Seething,
awesome.
yeah.
That was awesome.
God, okay, that was
Yeah, we
fantastic.
had some highlights. I was
Yeah.
thinking about gun is a cool color earlier.
Gun is a
Yes.
pretty
Fun.
cool color.
Yeah.
Because they were all like showing Jin like the
Yep.
colors of the lightsaber. I'm like, I just have a gun.
That's a pretty cool color.
Yeah, what color
I
is
was
your
thinking when I was
lightsaber?
writing-
Gun. Gun's a pretty cool color.
When I was
That's
writing
us.
Viz's bullet points, I was trying to think of an analogy of why, like, out of character, it was better for her to leave, and that was it. Like, it's like telling a baby to run without them even crawling. Like,
Yeah.
the
Mm.
way that she shifted, there was no in between, so she didn't
You
know how to
jumped
deal
too
with
hard
that.
into the light side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta
And
find that
so-
balance, dog.
Yeah, now she does. And then like the epilogue was this is the wisdom person that, she would have been if she had the scene like the actual transition, like dark, blah, blah, no, not just one from the other because she didn't know how to deal with that. And I feel like I wanted her to make amends and like rebuild all the bridges that she burnt with everyone. Because she was wise enough and calm enough to do that now. But don't worry, guys. My new friend is not an edgelord.
I will
I
say,
say the edgiest edgelord.
nice. I will say, just to touch on a few other NPCs. Anytime Jin calls the caretaker to hang out or have dinner or come to an art gallery, he does come.
Oh.
But he doesn't. He lets the crew of the Dawn Star rest. He finds new agents to do his bidding, because they've earned that and they've earned his respect. One day though, in that at least a decade or so after Mandalore is destroyed,
Malakor.
no, Mandalore the Ultimate. I mean, after he's
Oh,
destroyed.
yeah. Again, I always forget. The person of the planet.
Yeah.
Spy Vegeta, King Vegeta, Prince Vegeta.
Yeah, exactly. He does just stop contact, or at least it's almost impossible to contact him, one or the other. No one ever really figures it out, what happens.
My boy.
The caretaker is Plagueis, isn't he?
Huh. Um,
Ah,
we get one moon force sensitive person, and every time you bring another one, and they're like, it's Darth Plagueis, right? It's like, no, bitch.
idiot.
The only one I know.
The siren, helps Wanos rebuild Jojar's Khajiit, and eventually, after Wanos is assassinated by people loyal to Fika, she takes over
Oh,
Shit.
the Khajiit. She tries to stay in contact with Jin, but it was always a casual thing, and eventually
no,
she
it
just
wasn't. It was like she liked Jin. I inside checked her that day, Tim.
you can
You
like someone and
like
it still be
Vince.
casual.
Okay, but she loved Jin. She was falling for Jin.
Okay, now you raise the stakes.
Yeah, now
You said like
stop
and
moving the
like said love.
goalposts.
Stop moving the goalposts. Get out of here.
I have it written in my notes.
You
Okay?
can like someone and not
I know,
want
I know, I know.
Yeah.
a
I know.
permanent relationship.
I'm just
with
pulling
her.
his
Yeah.
like
Tressa's her work is too dangerous. She would never settle down.
yeah, she would never yeah.
But that's what she ends up doing. Shadowrend, the Wookiee, eventually comes after Jin. After everything that happened with Fika and Wanos and his business takes a dive, he just says fuck it, and remembers that little blonde woman who fucked him over so long ago. And comes after Jin and gets fucking eviscerated, obviously.
Of course he does.
But it'd be like that.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Maybe like a cool political statement art piece out of like the death of the Shadowrend.
Use Wookiee hair for texture.
Exactly.
And you have an R-rated one with a lot of blood in a a PG-13 one.
And it's like an urban legend. It's like, I heard that's real blood. And they're like, no.
Nah.
It is. It's real blood.
It's real blood, bitch.
What about Losarin?
Losarin.
Yep.
Often dies pathetic. Get fucked.
Fuck that guy.
Unfortunately, he gets sent back to Coruscant. Admiral Saul Kareth disappears with Revan and Malik.
Oh, fuck.
So, I'm not gonna say white male privilege, but
White male
Oh.
privilege.
white male privilege.
Well, it is a bad look. You get accused of someone. You get accused by someone who immediately turns traitor. Your argument for that person wasn't in their right mind is probably very sound at that point.
However, the report is passed along by the top brass of the Republic Navy, and while it is hearsay because Admiral Saul Kareth is not here to back up his report, and Admiral Korikala hasn't been officially promoted yet, there's nothing that they can really do to him. He is eventually honorably discharged, and he just fades into obscurity from there.
That's
Good.
worse for someone like him than actually anything
Good.
else. Yep.
Yeah. Sadly, with Admiral
Asher
Saul
would've-
Kareth disappearing with Revan and Malik, there wasn't anyone to pursue anything against Losarin. And Corey
Asher
couldn't
would've
do it
poured everything he
because
could.
it would have been considered a
Bad for her.
conflict of interest.
And also bad for her because Kareth promoted her, and now Kareth is gone. If she went out
She
of the way,
gets her
to pursue
promotion.
that.
Yeah. He did
could
put it
be-
through the
could be
official
shady for her,
channels
too.
before he disappeared. So she does get that. But
Yeah,
Well,
Asher
eventually
wanted to
becomes
see
minister.
that guy fucked up, so he would have helped if needed. With the he would be in Coruscant by then.
What
I'd like
about
to
Mim-
I'd like to
whatever that
think
word.
I like to think Corey got her justice in the office of Admiral
Yeah.
Selkareth.
Yeah.
That's the confrontation. There is what she needed,
Yeah.
and not any actual
Yeah.
And
consequences.
let's be honest,
Like,
for
yeah.
someone like Losarin to fade into obscurity and no one knows who he is, I think it's worse. It's kind of like Trent Iketon. Like
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
end.
Yeah.
It's more painful than actually dying or something like that.
Okay.
It's fitting.
What about Mimye?
Oh yeah.
What was her career like for the rest of her life?
Mimye, after the Mandalorian War, she is responsible for kind of bridging the gap between or the rift that had started between the Republic and the Jedi Order, and between her and Nomi, the Grand Master. That rift is healed just in time for Revan and Malik to return as conquerors.
Yeah, right.
While continuing her stance on anti-war, Mimye does not sit idly by when Revan and Malik returns to destroy everything, and immediately puts in a motion to declare war against the Sith.
Oh yeah.
That in of itself nets her a promotion, I guess what you could call it, and she becomes Chancellor.
Whoa!
No.
Grand Chancellor Mimye Afi. You love to see it.
She has many children in her life, and some of which go on to do good and terrible things. Of course, if any of you have watched the Clone Wars,
her
you know
name-
what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
And her name lives on for 4,000 years.
Yep.
What about Space Gordon Ramsay?
Space
he-
Gordon Ramsay.
Good cooking show.
It's
Yeah.
a cooking show and all of it.
he gets a cooking show.
Yeah, boy.
He gets your shit together.
He gets a cooking show, yeah.
Literally, he gets his shit together. Literally.
And in 4,000 years, he has a descendant named Dexter Jetster.
Yes!
Who owns Dexter Diner.
Obi-Wan! That's a Camino saber dart.
Holy shit.
This
Oh,
show has
God.
like celebrity guests. Like guest star on the show.
Excellent. So anything else? Anyone else you guys
Let
are
me
curious
think.
about?
I
Any
think this is one of-
any secrets that you want to know about?
Who
Secrets,
is the
yeah.
mother?
Secrets you gotta give.
I'm not giving you the matron.
I
I'm sorry.
know.
No,
The
I don't want to
matron's
know that
No,
one.
what the fuck?
Just-
Why?
Just the secrets you're willing to give.
I don't
Secrets
think I
I'm
know
willing
her.
to
It's
give.
fun.
I want to know them all.
He's fucking using
The
the
matron. The
against
matron
us
is
now.
not done, actually.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But other than the matron. Any-
Other than the matron. Originally all of you were gonna have destinies. That was a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Originally, but then I pulled it back a bit.
Felt like we all had mini destinies anyway, so
Yeah.
we all did one
Yeah.
good thing in the story that really just moved it all forward and made it good. It was even if we didn't get a destiny point.
yeah.
I already told you that originally I was gonna have the Sith Holocron fuck up Fizz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna corrupt her. Yeah. Okay. I
Mhm.
told you about that.
Thankfully, you changed your mind.
I did.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
When we got Ferali on the planet, we met Jim.
Oh,
And
Ferali.
that planet was a rebelling planet, right?
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I will admit, we kind of forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
In the course of the playthrough, the campaign, we
Mhm.
did something happen, and we all just forgot about the planet, and that's why Lusarin did the thing that he did. Because we all just, I went blank and completely forgot
Yeah.
about the
Well,
planet.
Losarin did
I
what he
think
did
because
because if you guys would have pursued,
Yes, yeah. What would have
that-
happened if we just did
it would have
that
been the
storyline?
first time that Losarin and Korikala came face to face. Since since her backstory stuff.
Mhm.
You are
That was
agents
also
of
very-
the Republic. You would have had to stop the rebellion, the rebellious nature, and it would have pitted you guys, probably, hopefully, trying to do it peacefully versus Losarin, who just wanted to go in there and
Kill everybody.
decimate them, like make a point that the Republic is not to be trifled with.
I think that part was a lot connected to Merrick and the Zeltros part, and
We had a
maybe
lot
that's
on the
also
to-do
why we
list.
forgot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To-do list
Yeah,
was
and then
vast.
everything happened with like
Yep.
Zanasek and like Mark dying
Yep.
and shit. And I think we all
Yep.
just like forgot about it because we didn't
We
find
forgot-
out about what happened
Yeah.
with it after
Yeah,
the
It's
5 years.
after the time skip. Yes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah, and
we all
then
just got
after
so
that, we
caught up
went
in our
to
own bullshit.
yeah, and then after
Mhm.
that, we went to Nar Shaddaa, and then that's where.
And then that was
That's
over.
where we find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's also because it was very connected to Merrick's part of the story.
Yeah, he
So
really,
when
like,
he
he really
died
said
and
a
he
lot about it.
left, yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it happened.
4 people. Sorry, we forgot about your rebellion, King.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I was fine with it. But sometimes you set up plot points, like story hooks, and they just don't get touched, and that's fine. That's what happens when you create games how I create, where it's it's sandbox. If you want to go do this, you
Yeah.
go do this. You want to go do that. I don't ever want to make you guys feel railroaded into
Well,
into a
I
one
felt
thing.
like you always gave us, you can probably do this or you can do this, but if
Yeah.
you do this, you will lose the chance to do that thing, and I think that's a good thing
Yeah.
because choices matter.
Choices matter. There are consequences.
Yeah, the world lives on
did
without
we
us.
touch?
Hate that.
Because we might have touched this during the game. Did we touch that the Black Spire was connected to whatever force was released when we resurrected RK, or it was just like a separate
that-
thing?
That was the Revenant.
Yeah, that was the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our dragon.
Mhm.
That
one
was
that
your
killed him.
dragon, yeah. The one that killed Ren. No, the Black Spire originally, because that's just like a common theme in Star Wars, was going to be this like super evil super weapon. And I was like, that's boring. I was like, I've already done that.
There's so many
Um,
super weapons.
I know. So I just slammed my head trying to figure it out. And I came upon like, well, we haven't done anything with Nar Shaddaa, we haven't done anything with Ren. I have this
Guess
whole
what?
thing. I have this whole thing with the caretaker, bringing them to Nar Shaddaa. So let me just tie this all together with the Black Spire stuff, like, get you guys acclimated with Nar Shaddaa, with the people there, with Jojara and stuff like that. And it slowly kind of developed into, okay, the Black Spire is a bad thing, but where it corrupts things, that's how it was, that's how people were using it to develop, like, terrible spice, because the Covenant that Lucian Dre was a part of needed funds to continue doing what they were doing for the Matron, So, you know,
Man.
they brought Fika into the fold because he was force sensitive.
Always a little snake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
always gonna betray us.
Fika was out from the very first day you guys heard that man's name. He was a bad guy. Yeah.
I hated that. Felt like the worst betrayal because I
Ugh.
did not see it coming.
He was on
I was like-
Indriga 4.
Yeah.
He was partly responsible for the plague on Indriga 4.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Because
I
of
was
thinking-
the black
like,
spire
I have to
stuff.
say, I'm usually good at catching those things. This one, Tim, 100%. Kudos to you. I did not see it coming.
I only figured it out when it was too late. When we were on that
Yeah.
ship ride to go pick up Zane, and he was
Yeah.
like completely chill about it, and he was like, "You guys should all just relax." I could tell I was like something.
Yeah, no.
Like, I
Yeah.
felt so
Yeah, he was about to
betrayed.
do
I
something.
felt
But
so
there's nothing you can
betrayed.
do at that point. You're in it.
No, I felt so betrayed. Although I have two questions.
Yes.
What was the bitch from Terrace that was Jin's friend? What was her deal? And did she die when
No.
Terrace was destroyed? First thing. Second thing, what happened to the guy that helped Jin? I forgot his name. That was helping Zane.
Griff.
Griff.
Jules was just a ruthless bitch.
She
and
was
we
a
love her.
bitch, and I
right?
hope she died with Terrace.
No,
Griff
great.
Griff went back to doing his crime stuff and probably died
No.
on a random like drive by or something. Like
Yeah, he's a criminal.
he's a criminal. Yeah.
Yeah.
His story was always tied to Zane, but when people were like, so like, when Corey like was vehement about him like
sorry.
leaving, I was like, all right, well he's just gonna go then.
I'm sorry.
Which is totally fine, because he wasn't really needed anymore. So
Corey said, "You don't have to go, but you can't stay here."
yeah.
Exactly.
Really quickly, one thing before we get to that, the caretaker in my headcanon, is the one pulling the strings for Goto. That's why their ideologies are very similar.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait. So what did he want us to steal from Goto?
Man,
Or am I forgetting
when
something?
were you ever gonna like make the exchange a much more like prominent part of the story, or like make actually Goto like basically the exchange like a villain arc of the exchange, or because the exchange were more supplementary to people like Fika and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I thought about it and I was like, I was already doing so much with like already stuff that's been established by Knights of the Old Republic that I didn't want the exchange to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, he Gotoran Tor was just a wink and a nod at Ivan because I figured he'd be like, wait.
Yeah, you were just gonna wait.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
He was like, wait, is that Goto?
Is that Goto?
But no, that guy is not Goto. That was just me being cheeky with
Cheeky bitch.
names.
Okay.
The cloning stuff was also just me, you know, having a wink and a nod to our next campaign.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, I felt that. That one.
Is that your canonical start? Your headcanon of like when is cloning, like when did the ball start rolling down the hill?
Exactly. Because it's never established when it starts. So I was like, well, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because I can.
I think I will.
Man. Crazy.
So, having said that, that's why there was always that like weird connection between like the caretaker and like Goto from KOTOR 2. Like their ideologies are very similar.
Very similar.
That's because in my head, the caretaker pulls the strings for Goto.
Is Goto essentially.
Yeah.
So he
Jules...
leads the exchange. The caretaker leads the exchange, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. He leads a lot of.
God.
He leads a lot of
Incredible.
things. That man is a puppeteer of many fucking puppets.
And no wonder he gets too busy to call back.
I'm sorry, I gotta run all of my crime syndicates.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I
But
have time for you right
given
now.
how he look, even though he is so busy, he still made time for Jin every
I
time she
know.
called.
Rise. Very cute.
He just wants to prepare you for when you take over his criminal empire.
Jin was our jester.
I did. She was. Holy fuck, yes, she was.
Even the bad guys liked her.
I did at one point last night when I was writing some stuff. I had the idea of the caretaker asking Jen if she wanted to take over his
No shit.
his stuff, but I decided against
you
it.
have- Would you have?
Of course she would.
He would have, yeah. He was on the list.
Fuck
Yeah.
He's a
He was on the
friend.
list of people she would drop whatever for.
Incredible.
But despite like all the shit that he had his fingers in, giggity,
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
he respected the crew of the Dawn Star and felt that they had a well-deserved rest.
So would you say he like, if any like criminal trouble like would wave over our areas of the galaxy, he would like, sort of steer things in the direction where we wouldn't be at
Deal with it.
at the forefront of that. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Yep.
What a guy.
What a guy. Protect our guardian angel.
My best friend.
babysitter.
Our babysitter.
Yeah. And he always made sure that no matter what thing he was controlling, no matter what its end goal was, it never superseded the needs of the Republic and the people within it.
Mhm.
Because he believed that the galaxy needed the Republic. Like he said in his speech when you guys were at dinner, he believes that the Republic is necessary until the day when it isn't.
When it isn't. Man. It's gonna be a long day coming.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways.
I like how I've taken up a lesbian. Just what?
Jules was a ruthless corporate bitch.
Yes.
And my best friend.
No other way around it. The hacker, the slicer that she had dragged into the office to test Jen to see if she would kill him or not, was just like a random IT guy that she had
Yes.
beat up and pulled
Yes.
off her.
Yes. I
her
actually
floor.
rescued the real one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because
Ruthless bitch.
Because she wanted to see
did
if
she die?
she wanted to see if Jen would just fucking kill him.
Did
of
she die
course.
when Terrace was destroyed?
Probably not. I would think.
Oh,
Yeah! Woo!
Snakes always
What?
survive, man.
Yeah.
Lives another day.
I would think she would have so many connections and is so ruthless that she would have gotten a warning that something bad was about to happen, and she would have either went to a bunker or just would have left.
Oh, time kills everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless
she-
you're
But she was not friends with Jin.
Jin thought she was friends with her. That's the difference.
It was a work relationship, and she would call on Jin many times to do work for her, but would never come to anything Jin had going on.
No!
Surprise. Poor lady.
Because she doesn't care about people. She is a ruthless corporate bitch.
She's a sociopath.
She has one end goal, and that is to die the richest person in all of the galaxy. Unfortunately for her, the
Incredible.
caretaker exists, so...
Yeah.
So get
Well,
fucked.
Get fucked.
Please say that they will, face each other and the caretaker is gonna kill her sorry ass.
No.
I hated that woman so much.
If anything, the caretaker would make her work for him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which would probably annoy her.
But yeah, no, she was never meant more than like the terrorist stuff. Like she wasn't. There was no grand plans for
I
for
just
her.
wanted to hear that you died in the terror's destruction, but you just didn't fulfill
I'm
my
sorry.
wishes. I'm gonna cry.
Unfortunately, she probably would have fucking. She's a rat. She would have scurried away. She would have survived.
I know.
Cockroach.
She's a little
Fucking
cockroach. Damn. Yeah.
Mm,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if I have anyone else that I'm remembering because I've just remembered that one.
Yeah.
that's it.
Let me go through my NPCs. I was gonna mention something, but I forgot. Sadly. Yeah. Pain indeed.
That means next campaign is fast upon us.
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
no.
Xanasek, his
Turn me back to
his Sith spirit that was haunting all of you.
Oh yeah.
That was gonna have a bigger impact, but I
Oh
decided
yeah.
I
Yeah, he
decided
just kind
this
of gave up.
I decided the story needs to go elsewhere.
Yeah, we had a lot of cis shit. so-
Yeah.
Man, terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. There was a point in that campaign, in this campaign, where I won't say, like, I mean, we all could have been evil, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Easily. Like, if Viz's redemption didn't really work,
Yep.
if, like, anything could have happened and this would have been an evil campaign.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted
We
to
were-
make it
we
clear,
were-
like, even in the epilogue, like, even Jane gets her happy ending or whatever, but she is still a very morally questionable person. Like, she picks people based off of how they treat her, not how they treat others,
Mhm.
strangely enough. So, like, she would still do some fuck shit.
Yeah, these characters, all of them are very, like, on the line.
Yeah.
I was
They're
prepared for
teetering.
that as well. If the campaign did turn evil.
They're teetering on
I
that line.
started as Dark
Full evil.
Aligned. Yeah.
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 I like Viz started as a spy for Zanazak.
Do you want to know what would have
Imagine-
happened if this was an evil campaign?
I do,
Yeah,
very
yes.
much
Yes.
so.
Oh yeah.
Poor Corey. Oh god.
Poor Corey. The
I would've left.
party would have taken the place of Revan and Malik.
Yo! Hold up, let's go back! Rewind! Fuck, that would have banged! Guys, I think we should go evil.
Everything would have built up and led up to like when Revan and Malik returned a year later as conquerors. It would have been the party returning as conquerors.
Oh shit, you
Man,
guys.
who
Guys,
would've
we
been-
missed that opportunity.
who
Would they
would've
have been
the
with us?
amnesiac?
Would they
Who
have been
would've
with you? Maybe, unless you guys
This
killed
maybe.
them.
This Cleveland.
Damn.
Who would have lost their memory and turned good?
Corey Cullen.
Well,
Corey.
it would have changed the
Oh.
entire canon of everything. So,
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. I don't. Oh
Well.
god, I don't know, Chris.
Did I
We're-
tell you
we're all
guys
gonna be really
originally Sabora was going to be the matron, but I decided against it? Did I tell you guys
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah,
you said that.
I
You said that, yeah.
you
Okay.
said that. You said that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have other things for the matrons, you sneaky
Yeah.
little fuck.
And did you realize that RK pulled a shepherd?
In what sense?
He put his name in the memorial,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
but he's still
Yeah.
alive.
I love that. Good job.
He thought he would be better off
Man.
not being known anymore by
Who
anyone.
knew that my shitty little Mass Effect reference would turn into something actually sad? And-
Yeah,
and
it's
me
so
be
It
sad.
was
sad.
very sad! Yes!
I thought it was great.
I love that thing in Mass Effect 3. It was like,
Yeah.
wow, what a great way of like
Yeah.
remembering all the characters.
And I like that
Especially
for
when you-
us, we got rid of our kitchen, with the place where two of our dead
yeah.
people hung out the most.
Yeah.
To put
Yeah,
up our
it's like,
sad
no
little memorial sign.
No kitchen. No kitchen.
No more kitchen.
Who needs
We
kitchen?
just,
We
like
live
we
off
just
of
have one of
rations.
those like tiny little galleys that has like a
Yeah.
microwave
We have
and
like
a
a
tiny
sad little
Yeah.
microwave and like 100 healthy choice meals.
Jesus.
Yeah, we were definitely those people that instead of confronting our problems, we were like, we're just gonna,
We're just gonna
bye.
get rid of
erase
it.
it.
No.
Just goodbye. Goodbye.
So I'm really looking forward to the next one.
Yes,
Yeah.
gotta make new
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, I gotta get on that if it's gonna be just a few
I've-
weeks.
Gotta write the backstory.
Gotta give it to Tim.
So we're
Yes.
starting.
As for the next campaign, since I guess we've kind of reached the end here.
Yes.
Covered.
The next campaign, it's going to, the actual game itself is going to start during the first battle of Geonosis.
Yes.
When the Jedi and the clones rescue Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme.
And Padme, yes.
That's dope as shit.
That is going to be the start of the campaign. However, the intro of the campaign is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be a little bit longer than any of my other intros. Because I want to use the intros to not only introduce your characters, but to also give a bit of insight into the character itself. So
Interesting.
All right.
I like
I'm on board.
that. I like
Like
that.
us.
Also
like
need
that.
to introduce the TAU.
So we get
Yeah.
to see a little bit more of us before we meet everybody.
exactly,
Sort of like
yes.
Scenes,
Okay.
Cool.
Scenes before the start of the movie, essentially.
Ooh. Excellent.
Wait, that's
Prologue.
fucking sick.
Prologue.
Yeah, like little prologue scenes. So mine would be with Leia, essentially, is what you're saying. If
No,
it's-
not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay, yeah, I'm really gonna get
It's not. It's not just. It's not just the scene that happens before the campaign starts.
Oh, so you're gonna do like character introductions. Like,
Yes.
in the sense that
That's very
I've seen-
fucking
I've
good.
seen-
Oh,
a scene plays
like
out
this
at
could be
any
years
point in the-
before.
At
Yeah,
any point in the character's to
life.
Okay.
Now
Just
I really
introduce
gotta get
them
their
as a person.
backstory.
Ooh, okay, yeah,
Holy
exactly.
shit.
Right? I really gotta get that to you.
Yeah. I'm going to
That
pick.
sounds really fun.
I'm going to pick moment, or I'm going to. I'm going to create moments that that inform about the character, but that also doesn't spoil anything that you might not want people
And
to know
fits.
right away.
And fits
Tim,
within
that's
our
so
backstory.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
That is really dope.
That's kind of
That's
cool.
cool as shit.
Guys, I'm so
Man.
excited. I can't wait.
I can't wait. Can't wait to
Can
play
we
this.
start
fucking-
tomorrow?
No.
No,
can't wait to
please. I
play
haven't
No,
seen
don't.
my Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I
So
can't wait to
7,
play
is
this
it?
This fucking idiot. I can't wait.
November
7th of
7th, yeah. If Hazel's fine with that, because I know it's her birthday, and I
Yeah.
don't want you to feel like stressed out and stuff.
Pog, dog.
That's poggy shit.
I didn't
I'm
know
like,
if you had
"Hey,
anything
James, the
planned.
best
So
birthday
Birthday party
gift.
ever. Yeah.
Nah. My family
So
knows that I
three-
would bury a Bowie knife into any of their chests for this fucking game. So.
Holy shit.
okay. So yeah, the November 7th, our wonderful Hazel's 21st birthday.
Oh my god.
Big 2-1, baby.
I remember
I'll
when
say
she
I
was
get- I
9.
get
I
sloshed
remember
for
when
this
she was
fucking game.
18.
I remember.
I
yeah.
do too, yeah. I remember the first time I
don't.
talked to her and I was like, oh my god, it's a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It really do be like that sometimes. At least he thought I was a small boy. That's terrible.
That's funny.
But if there's nothing else, then we officially
No,
call to a close Star Wars Mysteries of the Unknown Regions
Oh,
Man.
and say
this was something
goodbye
special.
to these
So many good
characters.
It was
I have to
truly
say
great.
that I was basically forced to join this because I was not going to at first because I didn't know anything about Star Wars apart like that Darth Vader was a Star Wars thing and Luke and
Mhm.
Leia, and I knew nothing. And everyone was like encouraging me to do
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to know
and-
that story. It's just sci-fi. Just sci-fi kid.
And I'm so happy I did because this game gave me some of my most memorable and most, like, not just for my character, I mean in general, most awesome D&D moments. So thank everyone for bullying me into joining because this was the best choice I've ever made, was to join this game.
A
I
very
agree.
special campaign, I think. It was
Yeah.
very good. Like,
very.
I don't think there was ever a session where I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like,
No.
every
No,
session was so
every
fun.
Section, every
all the
section,
time.
every session, some fuck shit happened that made
Yeah.
us go, whoa.
And it was like when you play D&D to you have that, oh my god, this is epic. I'm super. This was like every time for all the characters. So I like congratulations. This was like I think the last campaign that I thought, yeah, I'm gonna join and have fun, and it was perhaps one that I had more fun with. So
No, this is. I would say I am the luckiest D&D player ever because this is the first campaign I've ever finished, and I don't think anything will ever top like you guys and the characters we make and all that.
I'm gonna
Like
cry.
I don't think I'll
Please
find
shut
a game
the
this
fuck
good
up.
ever.
Please shut the fuck up. I will cry.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Same for me. I never finished one before either.
Yeah, this is mine too.
this is my
Same.
fourth campaign that no, my third campaign that I finished.
Ugh,
Third? Yeah, third.
it's so good.
It's also my third campaign
No,
I've ever
fourth.
finished. So
Fourth. I finished The Curse of Strahd. I finished my other campaign with the other DM that I'm not playing there anymore. I finished my first campaign with my first group ever before I even knew you guys existed, and I still have them, which is my Saturday game with Nora. We finished another campaign. We're gonna finish a second now, and now this one.
nice.
Damn.
My other two
Here's
were
to another
home
one,
were home
Chiefs.
games. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get
I
this
remember.
shit.
here's to another one.
Yes, I
Another
can't wait to
one.
meet new friends.
Another
Yes.
one.
So excited to meet new
Another-
friends. Is it November 7th yet?
And I,
Jesus, don't rush it.
Uh,
God, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
fucking old heck.
And
I like
we're
that-
behind. People have submitted their backstories, and I'm just like,
I feel so
it'll be good
behind.
to have. It'll be good to have Phoenix
Mood.
from the start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
and all
excited.
and all
And
now.
Alcia.
Alcia
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And Al as well. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be
I
good.
was like
Yeah.
I was like super worried when we started because every like I know Ivan had an idea, then he changed, and then he had like 8,000 words
Yeah.
of backstory.
Yeah.
And I was like, all I want is to be a Mandalorian. And I had nothing. Zero. And then I was browsing through subclasses and classes, and then one I read, I was like, and then in 2 days I had a backstory written. So
Incredible.
sometimes it's just to find the thing that will spark an idea in your head.
mhm.
I have nothing written, but I have a lot of ideas.
Same.
Well, that's
I
good.
just have to
That's-
put it on paper.
The thing is,
Yeah.
as long as it's in your
Good.
head, as long
I
as
have
it's in
Yeah.
your head,
severe,
Yeah.
severe writer's block.
Because I had nothing. I was joking. It's like I'm gonna write a word a day. That was me being desperate because I didn't have an idea for a backstory.
Yep.
basically, as long as it's in your head, you can always roleplay it because you can
Yeah.
remember.
And like I can get down bullet points, it's just like finer details are the issue.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
as long as I get
Yeah.
down
And
the
and I
bullet
ca-
pointed outline and I set it in, I will feel good and I will take my time writing the prose.
Regardless, a character always comes into their
Changes.
own once you start
Absolutely.
playing.
Yeah, but it's
Was it,
No,
what
I
was
just
that?
want to give my cool sexy DM a foundation to work off.
Yes.
Mhm,
of course.
yeah, but I didn't have anything. Like I only had a cool image, 2 cool images of what I wanted her to look like and what I wanted her to look like with the armor, and I had nothing. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do with this. And then I pimped
And
him
you've
and I was
also
like,
spent the most money on character art ever.
Yeah.
oh my god, don't remind me.
I will
that
say-
was so expensive.
I will say, because I have been busy and haven't had the time. I just started reading the backstories that have been given to me, and I think Ivan's character's backstory is probably just the cutest fucking backstory
It is
Oh.
adorable.
that I have
It is.
read.
I have read some of them because we
Cute as
share.
Yes,
It is so adorable.
like
That is interesting.
I love this character so much already.
It
Flies.
is so adorable.
He's my little himbo man.
Yeah. He's just
Remember when
from right off the rip, from the beginning, right from the fucking toddler age in
Yeah.
this backstory, he is just
Yeah.
a stupid boy, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Stupid boy.
He
He's such a
is,
stupid
he
little
is,
boy, Your Honor.
he is.
He's just little tiny little boy.
He is.
I love him so much.
That is funny.
I hope you read the part where I specifically mentioned like his connection to the Force and why it's like that,
Mm-hmm.
why it's the way it is. It's
Yeah.
it's why he is the way he is. It's really good.
Also, all the obscure references you make, just fucking Just
Man,
Yeah.
I do the worst like extended universes polls. Do
You
you remember
do.
that master I mentioned at all?
the first one.
Not the OC ones.
Wait, which one? Oh,
There's one
Oh.
there that's not an OC master.
Guys,
sure.
it's movie time again.
Movie time. It's
No, but I mean, I
yeah.
know
no,
some of his
if you
backstory.
if you search some of the names on Wikipedia, one of them will come up, and it
no,
is a deep poll.
I recognized a bunch of them.
Like,
it was so late when I was reading this last night. Hang on, I'm pulling
three
it
of
up.
Three of the names are OC because one of them is Leia's character.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
two of them are masters I just made up.
Yeah,
but the
my
other ones
master and his master. Yeah.
are canon characters.
I don't know all of it. I know some, and it is adorable. Because there's a part that I don't know. Even I don't know my characters. I don't know.
And you won't know unless you ask.
Yes,
It is.
but
It
it's
is
adorable.
I do want to like. I haven't given 20 pages of backstory, so.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Well, I did space it into like chapters, air quotes, but yeah.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is
Just saying.
ridiculous.
And I did
Yes.
format it a little bit so that it is longer. But
I'm
it,
gonna give you a paragraph. I'm letting you know that right now.
I'm gonna get
Maybe
out a
two.
tool, 1,000
Hey.
words.
Yeah.
Mwah.
And you
I
have another
don't-
20 pages to read when you get to mine.
Oh my
Let
god.
me see how many words I've read.
You
Yay!
guys are fucking insane. Can I have some of that writing juice?
Rick, I loved your idea of like a journal. That was like, genius. Genius.
I think I got the idea from Hazel.
Oh, Christ.
Nice.
And so
So
I tried doing it.
My backstory has in total 2,614 words.
Which is the longest you ever written.
It is the
Wait,
longest I've ever
are you
written,
talking
but
about
I'll-
his second master?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I read the name and I was like, why does that name sound familiar? And then I think you said the race, and I was like, no fucking.
Yes.
I was like, bitch, what? Yeah.
That's a deep hole.
It was that was balls deep. What that was.
Balls deep.
But
That
I
was-
will say my backstory is only that long because Ivan and I decided to do another Saran and Cassin, because otherwise I wouldn't have half of my backstory.
No, it's
But my
totally-
backstory
it's totally
was
fine.
because of him.
The longer the better. That means I have more stuff to pull from, so it's totally fine.
Man, that
But
movie's
also-
real good.
But also, if it's short, that's fine too. Hazel, Hazel gave me like next to nothing for Jen, and look how her story ended
And I
up.
love
You
you.
know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're creative.
Because, and
Like,
she's
you're-
an incredible role player.
That-
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
It's
So-
not
Yep,
me.
yep, yep,
don't
yep.
don't put that on me.
No.
That is all Hazel.
It's a
story.
team
I just
effort.
had the end.
Yeah, Hazel can improv her characters' quirks and personalities to the point that they feel real. So it's
you
great.
guys.
You don't need something big because I know you're just gonna pull off
Yeah.
like a really good thing.
Yeah.
I really like before I had the backstory or whatever for this character, I had personality that I was looking for, and I'm very excited about it.
Great.
Oh, you
I
mean a
had
campaign 2 character?
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can't
had
wait.
personality, I had story, I had a little detail, and then I had art. And that art, when I received the first art, I was very angry because it was not good. And then I decided, like, because here's how it went. I PM'd Kaio and I was like, hey, should I do this? And then I was like, do you have money? I was like, yeah, it's just a lot. It's like, well, indulge. And then I PM'd Kaio, reserved a slot with him when he opened it. And then he didn't say anything like a week, like he disappeared.
Yeah.
I sent all the references and like very details, like Gemma-chan was the face model and the stuff like that. So I sent a lot of images because he had never done Star Wars. So I sent the armor, I sent the lightsaber, I sent Gemma-chan. It's like, this is how I want her to look like. And then he disappeared. And I was like, hey, I don't know if he's gonna do it. And then I found this guy who did a lot of DC art, which is decent. And it was really cheap. And then I was like, okay, let's do something together. First thing, he ignored it and it didn't do it together. He did it separately. And he totally missed my character.
Mine came
Yeah.
out.
I had to go back like 1,000 times. I had to Photoshop and correct a bunch of like anatomic mistakes
It's
that he
'cause-
made.
That dude cannot draw women.
No,
I'm just gonna
he
say
cannot.
can't draw women.
Yep.
His
So,
his
it's usually
his
the other way
nails are real
around.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man
So-
cannot draw women.
2 days later, after I was so angry, Kaio said, "So, you want a full body, right?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like having dinner and having lunch and talking to him. I was like, "Oh my god, Kaio just PM'd me. He's gonna start on my character next. What do I do?" He's like, "Go for it." When I received the final product like 3 days after he started, because that's how talented he is. That image, when I received that one, yeah, I had the character all in my head. Like that art was like I almost cried because I never had something that good done before for me for a character that I created in my head.
It looks
But when
so
I
fucking
received
good.
the art, I was like, I know who this person is. And then I changed stats because I was gonna. And then when Tim said, "Hey, you can do whatever, light side, dark side, doesn't matter. Just be careful." And I was like, okay, she's gonna be a charisma Jedi then. And I changed the stats to match. Because I always had in mind that she would be kind of like.
Tim, did you know that? Did you say that knowing that is a variant rule in this conversion?
What's
Did
that?
you know that? That you can cast with either charisma or wisdom, your choice. That is like a variant rule.
I didn't know it was a
Mm.
variant rule. I didn't want there to be restrictions in this campaign on force casters and stuff.
Incidentally, it is just a rule. It's called simplified force casting.
No shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
That's
that was
crazy.
one of my
You'd
gripes.
think it'd be
with
the other way around, right? That the variant would be that you
Yeah,
have to use the separate
yeah.
ones. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Fuck!
it's so restricting and it makes you have to.
In this conversion, the simple version is always the variant.
It's the variant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That was such a hassle in campaign 1 because you had to like if you didn't have good stats in both charisma and wisdom, you were limited to half of what you could do.
So this just says consider letting them instead choose between wisdom and charisma as their force casting ability, regardless.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah. No, I didn't
So
know
I'm
it was
gonna-
a variant rule, but like I was
It makes sense for the setting.
I forgot who I was talking to. I was like, man, it does seem kind of restrictive for people
Yeah.
for force
It was a
casters.
nightmare.
And
was
like
a nightmare.
getting rid of the scaling of like light and dark side because it doesn't make sense for this campaign. I was like, why not get rid of being able to
Yeah.
choose which to pick? Because for my money, like I would bet I could probably name a number of Jedi who would be charisma based force casters. I don't know why
Boss.
charisma would be considered
An
evil.
evil thing.
So
Yeah.
like
So yeah, I'm gonna
Mace,
try a
Mace
charisma
Windu,
character again.
probably
Wish me luck.
100% a charisma caster.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
fucking Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
He's definitely a
Yeah,
charisma
that's enough.
character.
It's also like the powers are very clearly still either dark side or light side.
Yeah.
It's very clear. Like lightning, still dark, but
Yeah.
it's like it's always it's,
Well,
it's
except
always
call
on the
lightning.
person. I mean, that's the weather. That's different.
That's just just
Is it
druid
though?
shit.
It is. That is. You
It's
are calling
silly.
clouds.
It's
to be
silly as
lightning.
shit. It's silly as
What?
shit.
Anything. You're not
Since
controlling
when?
the
Since
lightning.
when? Since when can the force control the weather? Like, fuck off.
Oh,
I
that's
don't-
that's always been a
I-
thing.
Yeah, they can
Is
control
it?
the weather. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, the force
Well-
is idiotic in the extended universe.
Extended
Don't even-
universe, the force has been used to do all kinds of fucking things.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Fucking, they use the force to birth a child in actual movies.
Yeah.
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 They do?
Yeah. 'Cause
Anakin-
Palpatine is. But
Okay,
Anakin is Jesus.
okay,
Palpatine
okay.
is the Holy Ghost.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Anakin is
I
That's what I
100%.
thought.
100% watching those movies thought that she was just like, I don't want to talk about him.
No.
Like, there is no
No.
father.
One
being
day
like,
she
"Ah,
woke
No,
up and
they
she
were
was
being-
pregnant and she
bitch
was
never-
confused.
Bitch never paid me child
Lane?
support.
I love how
Yeah.
you think that those movies have any nuance whatsoever to what
No.
they say.
George
She was
Lucas
being
literally
literal as
said-
fuck.
Yeah, George
Mary.
Lucas
She was
literally
Mary.
said, "This is Mary and Anakin is Jesus."
Yes.
I
What the fuck?
I hated a little bit more now.
George, what the fuck?
So
Yeah.
anytime we see Anakin in the game, remember, baby.
Yeah.
That's Jesus.
That's Jesus.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
I'm gonna
Well,
be.
I'm just saying
Leslie.
I'm gonna try my hand
Or
at playing
Jesus.
for my character again, who is going to be very different from Cassian, completely different from Cassian.
Can't wait to be
Hopefully.
best
Love that.
friends. Can't
From
wait to
what-
be best friends with Jesus.
From what I've
Jesus.
read in Ivan's backstory, I like Leah's character already as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She seems
That's
very
good.
she seems very cute.
Give me the
That's-
Yep.
deets.
That's 2 out of 7 so far.
Yeah.
He's got to
Well,
get to
there-
them.
I really like their friendship.
I gave
yeah.
listen, Tim. I gave you a gift with my character. I hope you like and enjoy it.
Play
Oh.
around with.
Yeah.
Ice. Ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the thing.
You know the thing.
Okay.
The thing with the
What-
name.
The thing with the name. Anyways,
The whole purpose. The thing.
we are calling to a close this campaign.
Yes.
And in 2 weeks, we will start the Shattered Galaxy.
Ooh. One of us. Technically
I
3
can't wait
weeks.
to meet my new
Because we
friend.
3 weeks break, and then the next Sunday.
Okay, I better
Two
get
Sundays
that
off, and
written today.
Right, 3
I
weeks.
have
In
faith
3 weeks,
and
sorry.
I believe in you, girls.
Anyways.
We got this.
Ba-bum, 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 ba. Goodbye, internet.
Bye.